Have you ever stood in front of your fridge, staring at the shelves, wondering if the food you're choosing is really helping you live longer or quietly working against you? Maybe you've been eating the same way for years, and lately, you've started to wonder if those choices are still serving you as well as they once did. Maybe the energy dips are coming more often, digestion feels a little off, or your doctor has gently suggested making a few tweaks here and there. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. So many diets, so many opinions, and let's be honest, most of them seem to be made for 20-year-olds trying to get a six-pack, not for someone who's already lived a full, beautiful life and just wants to feel strong, clear-minded, and energized for the years ahead. Here's the good news: eating for longevity doesn't mean giving up your favorite foods or counting calories like a math student. It's about making small, smart choices that help your body do what it already wants to do: heal, thrive, and keep you feeling vibrant. You don't need to follow fads or starve yourself to eat well in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. You just need the right information, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's take a closer look at what a longevity-friendly diet really looks like, one that supports your energy, your memory, your bones, and even your mood. We're going to explore the kinds of foods your body truly needs each day and how they can make a real difference in how you feel, not just now, but 10 or even 20 years from now. So, where do we begin? Let's start with something simple, but powerful. Real, whole foods. It sounds basic, right? But you'd be amazed at how many of us, without even realizing it, have let processed foods take over our plates. Crackers, frozen meals, low-fat snacks, sugary yogurts, they sneak in because they're convenient. But they don't nourish us the way we deserve to be nourished. Whole foods, on the other hand, think colorful vegetables, hearty grains, fresh fruits, beans, nuts, seeds. These are packed with the kind of nutrients your body craves to stay sharp and strong. Now, if you're thinking, but I already eat fruits and vegetables, that's fantastic. The key is consistency and variety. A banana here and there is great, but your body thrives when it gets a rainbow of colors. That deep purple in blueberries? It's full of antioxidants that help protect your brain. The orange in sweet potatoes? That's beta-carotene, which supports your eyes and immune system. Leafy greens like spinach and kale? They're loaded with folate and magnesium, nutrients that help with energy, sleep, and heart health. Think of your plate like a painter's palette. The more colors you add, natural colors, not artificial ones, the more health-supporting nutrients you're feeding your body. And speaking of feeding your body, let's talk about protein. It's not just for athletes or bodybuilders. After 60, getting enough protein every single day becomes even more important. Why? Because our muscles naturally start to shrink as we age, and that process, called sarcopenia, can lead to weakness, balance issues, and a higher risk of falls. But the right amount of protein helps slow that process down and even rebuild muscle. And we're not talking about giant steaks here. In fact, many seniors do better with leaner, gentler sources of protein like eggs, beans, lentils, tofu, Greek yogurt, and fish. A scoop of cottage cheese with fruit, a hard-boiled egg for a snack, or a bowl of lentil soup can make a world of difference. What's beautiful about protein is that it doesn't just help with muscles, it also keeps you fuller longer, helps regulate your blood sugar, and supports healing if you've had surgery or an injury. So instead of loading up on bread or sweets throughout the day, try building your meals around a solid protein source and watch how your energy levels start to stabilize. Now, let's not forget one of the most overlooked, and yet absolutely essential, pieces of the longevity puzzle: fiber. You've probably heard that fiber keeps things moving, and yes, it absolutely helps with digestion and regularity. But that's just the beginning. Fiber feeds the healthy bacteria in your gut, which impacts everything from immunity to inflammation to mental clarity. In fact, a fiber-rich diet has been linked to lower risks of heart disease, diabetes, and even some cancers. The best sources of fiber? Whole grains like oats, quinoa, and brown rice. Beans and legumes. Fruits with the skin on, like apples and pears. And of course, vegetables, especially the crunchy, colorful ones. Try adding chia seeds or ground flax to your morning oatmeal. Snack on a handful of almonds or a pear in the afternoon. You don't need to overhaul your diet, you just need to find a few easy ways to sneak fiber in each day. One thing that often surprises people is how closely fiber is tied to mood and memory. Your gut and brain are deeply connected. Ever had a gut feeling about something? That's not just a saying, it's science. A healthy gut, supported by fiber, actually produces feel-good chemicals like serotonin. So yes, what you eat can absolutely impact your happiness and outlook on life. And while we're talking about feeling good, let's not forget hydration. Water might not be as exciting as a fancy green smoothie, but staying hydrated is one of the simplest ways to keep your joints limber, your skin soft, and your brain clear. As we age, our sense of thirst tends to fade a bit, so we might not always realize when we need water. Try keeping a glass nearby throughout the day or infuse your water with slices of lemon, cucumber, or berries to make it more enjoyable. Even herbal teas count toward your hydration goals. By now, you might be starting to see a pattern. Eating for longevity isn't about restriction, it's about nourishment. It's about giving your body the tools it needs to heal, protect, and energize itself. It's about swapping out processed, empty foods for real, vibrant ones that you can feel working in your favor. And it's about doing that in a way that feels good and sustainable, not stressful or overwhelming. Now that we've talked about whole foods, protein, fiber, and hydration, let's keep going. There's another key piece to this puzzle that ties all of it together, and it might just surprise you. Healthy fats. Yep, fats. For so long, fat was treated like the villain of nutrition, especially for those of us who remember the low-fat craze of the 80s and 90s. We were told to skip the butter, toss the yolks, and load up on anything labeled fat-free. But now we know better. Not all fats are the same, and some are actually essential, especially as we get older. Healthy fats, like the ones found in avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish like salmon or sardines, play a huge role in keeping your heart healthy and your brain sharp. They help reduce inflammation, keep your joints feeling smoother, and even support memory and mood. Imagine enjoying a slice of whole grain toast topped with smashed avocado, a drizzle of olive oil, and a sprinkle of sea salt. Delicious, satisfying, and genuinely good for you. Now, if you're wondering how much fat is too much, here's a good rule of thumb. Include a small portion of healthy fat in each meal, but keep it balanced with fiber-rich carbs and lean proteins. So instead of dousing your salad in dressing, use a tablespoon of olive oil with lemon juice. Swap margarine for a pat of real butter or a smear of almond butter. These little shifts can make a big difference over time. Let's talk for a moment about one of the most powerful foods you can include in your daily diet, something that often gets overlooked: fermented foods. These might sound fancy or a little unusual, but they've been part of traditional diets around the world for centuries. Think yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, and even kombucha. These foods are rich in natural probiotics, those beneficial bacteria that help keep your gut in balance. Why does this matter for longevity? Because when your gut is healthy, your immune system is stronger, your digestion is smoother, and your body is better at absorbing the nutrients it needs. Plus, more and more research is showing that your gut health is deeply tied to your mental well-being. Feeling anxious or foggy-headed? A healthier gut might be part of the solution. You don't need to eat a bowl of sauerkraut every day, but adding a few spoonfuls of yogurt to your breakfast or sipping on kefir can be an easy and gentle way to support your gut. Just make sure to choose options without added sugars. Your body will thank you. Another key ingredient in a longevity diet is something you might not associate with food at all: time. Specifically, when you eat can be just as important as what you eat. Our bodies thrive on rhythm and routine. As we get older, our metabolism naturally slows down, and our digestive system needs a little more time to do its job. That's why eating earlier in the day, and giving your body time to rest and repair overnight, can be a game changer. Many people find they feel better when they finish their last meal a few hours before bed. This gives your body a break from digesting and allows it to focus on cellular repair, hormone regulation, and all the behind-the-scenes work that keeps you feeling vibrant. You don't need to follow strict rules or skip meals. Just try shifting your main meals a little earlier and notice how your sleep and energy levels respond. And speaking of energy, one of the best ways to keep yours steady throughout the day is to avoid the sugar trap. You know the one, where you have something sweet mid-morning or mid-afternoon, and for a while, you feel great. But then, an hour or two later, you crash. You feel foggy, irritable, and maybe even a little shaky. It's not your fault. Sugar gives you a quick burst of energy, but it's always followed by a crash. And over time, those highs and lows can mess with your mood, your blood sugar, and even your memory. Now, does that mean you have to give up desserts forever? Absolutely not. Life is meant to be enjoyed. But instead of reaching for packaged sweets or sugary drinks, try satisfying your sweet tooth with whole fruits, a bit of dark chocolate, or even a homemade treat made with natural ingredients. The goal isn't perfection, it's intention. Knowing how food affects your body gives you the power to choose what truly nourishes you. There's something really special that starts to happen when you begin eating this way. Your body starts to respond. Your energy evens out. Your mind feels clearer. Your clothes might even fit better without you trying. But more importantly, you begin to feel connected to your body again, instead of feeling like it's something you have to battle or fix. Now, while we've talked about food choices, there's another piece that ties all of this together, and it's one many people overlook when trying to eat healthier. It's not about a specific food group or nutrient. It's about the way we approach eating. Slowing down. Savoring your meals. Eating with gratitude. So often, meals become something we rush through while watching TV or scrolling on our phones. But when you take the time to sit down, breathe, and enjoy each bite, everything changes. You digest better. You feel more satisfied. You notice when you're full. And food becomes not just fuel, but pleasure, connection, and joy. Try this. The next time you eat, put your fork down between bites. Notice the texture, the flavors, the warmth. Think about where the food came from and how it's nourishing your body. If you're eating with someone, talk about how it tastes. Laugh. Share stories. Eating for longevity isn't just about what's on your plate, it's about how that food fits into the rhythm of your life. And remember, this isn't about perfection. There's no one perfect diet. It's about patterns, consistency, and kindness to your body and to yourself. If you've been eating a certain way for decades, it's okay to take small steps. Swap out one thing at a time. Maybe it's adding a piece of fruit to your breakfast. Maybe it's choosing brown rice instead of white. Maybe it's simply drinking more water. Every little shift adds up. You deserve to feel good. You deserve a body that supports you in doing the things you love, whether that's gardening, walking with friends, traveling, or playing with your grandkids. And what you eat each day is one of the most powerful tools you have to protect your future, no matter your age. So now that we've looked at healthy fats, gut-friendly foods, mindful eating, and timing your meals, there's one more area we absolutely have to talk about. It ties everything together, and it's something many seniors accidentally skip over, even though it's one of the biggest keys to long-term health. Variety. Yes, variety. It might sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful and most forgotten ingredients in a diet that supports long-term health. You see, our bodies aren't machines that run on the same fuel every day. They're living, breathing systems that thrive when they're fed a wide range of nutrients. And the only way to get all of those vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and healing compounds is to eat a mix of different foods on a regular basis. Eating the same few meals every week might feel easy, and we all have our go-to favorites, but over time, that kind of repetition can leave gaps in your nutrition. Maybe you're getting enough protein, but missing out on magnesium. Maybe you're eating vegetables, but they're all from the same color group. And over the years, those little gaps can turn into fatigue, brain fog, brittle nails, slower healing, or just feeling off. But when you start to add variety, new fruits, different greens, a different grain, a spice you haven't tried before, you give your body access to a wider range of nutrients, which helps everything function better. Your digestion, your skin, your memory, even your immune system, it all benefits. And the best part? Food becomes exciting again. It stops being something you have to do and starts feeling like something you get to enjoy. You don't have to reinvent your whole menu overnight. Maybe this week you try purple cabbage instead of green, or swap white rice for quinoa. Maybe you pick up a papaya or a mango the next time you're at the store and see how it feels to enjoy something tropical. Little changes. Big impact. Now, let's talk about something that brings a lot of people joy: flavor. Eating for health doesn't mean you have to give up taste. In fact, spices and herbs are some of the most powerful longevity boosters out there. Turmeric, for example, is known for its anti-inflammatory effects. Garlic supports heart health. Ginger can help with digestion and reduce joint stiffness. Cinnamon can help regulate blood sugar. These aren't just seasonings, they're medicinal powerhouses. So if you've been eating bland meals because you're trying to eat healthy, it's time to spice things up. Literally. Explore different flavors, different cuisines, and enjoy the discovery process. Cooking can be fun again. It can be a creative, joyful experience that makes you feel alive. And while we're talking about joy, let's not forget about the emotional side of eating. Food is more than just fuel. It's connection. It's comfort. It's memories. Sharing a meal with someone, even just once a week, can boost your mood and reduce feelings of loneliness. And loneliness, as you probably know, is one of the biggest health risks for people as they age. It's been linked to heart disease, depression, and even shorter life expectancy. So if you're looking for one more reason to invite a friend over, join a community dinner, or cook with your grandkids, let this be it. And if you live alone or have limited social opportunities, you can still make meals feel special. Set the table. Light a candle. Put on your favorite music. Treat yourself the way you treat a beloved guest. You deserve that kind of care. Now, before we wrap things up, let's bring everything together for a moment, not as a list of rules, but as a gentle reminder of what matters most. Eating for longevity isn't about perfection. It's not about following a strict diet or eliminating everything you love. It's about nourishing your body in a way that supports your energy, your joy, your independence, and your future. That means focusing on whole foods, colorful fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, fiber-rich grains, and fermented foods. It means drinking enough water, eating mindfully, enjoying variety, and making space for connection and pleasure at mealtime. And it means treating yourself with kindness, especially if you slip up or fall back into old habits now and then. You're human. You've lived through decades of change, and you're still here, still learning, still growing. That's something to be proud of. Remember, small changes can make a big difference. Swapping white bread for whole grain. Adding an extra serving of veggies to your dinner. Trying a new recipe once a week. Every step you take brings you closer to a body that supports the life you want to live. A life that's full of energy, strength, clarity, and joy, no matter your age. So be gentle with yourself. Be curious. Be open to new flavors, new habits, and new ways of taking care of the incredible body that has carried you this far. If this conversation resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What foods make you feel your best? Have you made any changes to your diet lately that surprised you? Share your experiences in the comments below. We're all learning from each other, and your story might inspire someone else. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more tips, ideas, and conversations about living your best life after 60. We're building a community here, and you're a big part of it. Here's to living with vitality, purpose, and joy, one nourishing meal at a time. You've got this.